Hey, my name's Cole, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. So today we're going to be talking about a podcast called The Message. So if you care about spoilers or you don't want to get spoiled for The Message, please don't listen because the ending is a big part of it. A big part of what I'll be talking about, so just be warned, okay? Now, The Message is a fictional series of weekly reports and interviews by a woman named Nikki Tomlin, who is covering the decoding of a message from outer space that was received like 70 years ago. Over the course of these 8 episodes, you did an insider ear on how a top of team cryptologists attempt to decipher, decode, and understand the alien message. Alright, what did I like about The Message? It's an awesome concept. I think it's really cool that, like, they take a message that's been sent down 70 years ago and have just been trying to decode this and how the team goes about decoding it and all the stuff that happens because of it. The characters are pretty likable. They've definitely got, they have a genderqueer character, which I can definitely appreciate. They have really funny characters. They've got characters that develop over time. I think they're pretty cool. It's I don't want to say it's realistic because it's an alien message and it causes illnesses in people, and so it's not realistic, but I think that the way they go about trying to decode the message is realistic. They use SETI standards from NASA to say, like, okay, it's not earthbound, it didn't come from Earth. It's actually a message because it has a clear and defined beginning and end. How, like, the curvature of the message and how it's, like, held and the metadata regarding the message. And it sounds like, how people would go about solving this thing and decoding the message. Now, we're going to talk about the end stuff. So, the ending. So for those of you who have actually listened to The Message, you know what I'm talking about. The ending is essentially Nikki Tomlin was the alien all along and has been trying to guide this research, and she's been here for 70 years and just jumping from body to body. And that isn't awful. The way that they went about revealing it is kind of awful. The ending feels very, very rushed. The pacing could have been a lot better. I think that it would have been a lot better if it just had a longer season, instead of the 8 episodes. They also have a really bad habit of killing off characters once they stop being useful. Not killing off, per se, except for one of them, but once a character was like, oh yeah, this is about the message, and this is why I'm here, and I solved this big thing for you, then they get essentially alien asthma and end up dying. Or almost dying, or being inusable, or things like that. It seemed a little too convenient. It was also super convenient that the woman scientist, whose name I do not remember, and is not actually listed on their website at all. Why doesn't their website have a cast list? That would be so helpful, I guess, because spoilers, but the lady doctor that comes in and helps them out was very convenient. They mention it in an early episode that, oh yeah, she's doing amazing things with sound, and then the next episode, this woman who's doing amazing things with sound ends up in their testing facility. And it's just like, it's too convenient, and it would have been a little bit better if it was like a longer season, so that way if it was mentioned in the earlier episodes, it's not immediately she's here. It's a couple episodes later, once we've kind of forgotten about it, kind of, not had it right on our minds, and then she comes in, and it would have been a much smoother transition. They're also not that great with suspense. There are a couple times when it's like, oh no, they've got the virus, but it definitely could have been worked on. Now, when you really get down and think about it and think realistically about how the message works, it's kind of bullshit. They get into about how the ear is an echo chamber and how the sound will reverberate in the ear and make you sicker and sicker. And that's not how sound works. That's really not how sound works. The ear canal isn't an echo chamber, and sending pulse sounds into the ear in order to stop the message isn't how that stuff kind of works. That's not how sound works. That's not how the ear canal works. I can see where they were going with it, and I can see why they said the way they did, but I feel like all in all, they kind of dug themselves into a bit of a hole. Like they started off and they weren't sure how they were going to end it within that 8-episode span, and so they just kind of came up with a bullshit, oh, she's been here all along, and she's been the villain all along, and we're gonna send sound signals into your ear to stop it. Also, how does the virus spread? In the podcast, they talked about how it spreads from one person to another, whether or not they listen to the actual message. But sound doesn't spread that way. I know it's an alien sound and an alien thing, but even if you, like, record it, sound waves from that message, sound waves from the recorded message don't travel like that. It seems like they didn't really sit down and think about it. Or if they did, they didn't think about it too much. But for someone like me who has no time on their hands and has listened to the message a couple times, has listened to the message podcast a couple times, it falls apart rather quickly. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what they do next season. So, as for what I'd like to see from them next season, I'm not sure that there could be a second season just from the way that they ended the first season. The aliens, and Nikki Tomlin, the alien, said that this was the first of many tests. So I'd definitely like to see what else the aliens are going to throw at us, throw at them, throw at the team, as well as what the team is actually going to do with the message once they have it. Because it's already been talked about how the government's going to try and make it into a weapon. But you can also make it into a cure for things? Like sound-based illnesses? I don't know. Like, I can definitely see how it can be used as a tool. I'm not exactly sure how it can be used as a tool for healing, but like they did mention, it does open up a lot of other possibilities, and now that we know how to do it, we can definitely start using it for the betterment of others, but we already kind of had that technology. I'm sorry, I'm still nitpicking, because the lady doctor that came in halfway through the series to help them had already basically been doing this kind of stuff, and just happened to be doing it while... I'm sorry, this isn't going where I want it to, but I'm gonna wrap it up and just say that I'm looking forward to more of the message, if there is more of the message, and I'm definitely interested to see what kind of other viruses they can come up with after that. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you liked something I said, or if you disagreed with something I said, just leave a message down below. I'm also going to be linking in the description to the Message Podcast website, so you can go and have a listen for yourself. If you like this series, or if you didn't like this series, share it with your friends, your family, your local shaman. Give a like, give a subscribe. It's up to you. I'll see you guys. Bye!